It's Friday Night Live. Welcome in. We have a lot on the docket tonight. I'm going to be talking in the weekly roundup about the very first Varsity Blues / college admission scandal trial that actually went to trial. The jury just came back on that. The Twitch breach, because I'm fascinated. So we're going to chat a little bit about that. The NBA fraud case, of course, and then new documents in the Britney case. Yeah, there's more minute orders every day. Every day I go onto the court site and I'm like, oh, there's new stuff. So there's new minute orders. There's finally letters of temporary conservatorship for the new conservators, and then lots of time for questions and the much anticipated return of Court of Public Opinion. And I chose violence today, so we're going to have a good time playing with Court of Public Opinion. If you watched me on the vidIQ stream this week, you might have a heads up. I have been doing lots of talking this week. I'm like, you can hear it, but we've got water tonight. I'm off to another concert tomorrow, so I want to make sure that we are preserving my voice. And it's just time. You guys, it's Friday. We're going to chat. Let me know where you're coming in from, what you're drinking. I am, here in Middle Tennessee drinking water. You can see it. #TiredCrew. That's where we're at tonight. So let's just get into it. Shall we get into it? We should. I need a stream deck so I can just hit the buttons and make the things happen so I don't have to look down, so I can just look at y'all. But either way, we're going to get into it. Hey there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer and everyone's favorite legal commentator. I'm the host of The Emily Show, and I break down the legal shit behind the news and pop culture stories we all want to talk about. I have been a licensed attorney for over 15 years, but this is not legal advice. I should warn you, I'm a big fan of the cursey words. This channel is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not fuckery. It's so good to see you guys. And if you would like, if you are new on the live stream, you're always welcome to say hello by putting a 1 in the chat and being like, I'm new. And the law nerds will welcome you with open arms. Also, if you're in the replay crew, love you. There will be timestamps down below after the stream, so you can just cut to exactly the topic that you wanted to see. But we do lots of things here. And then we're going to have lots of times for questions tonight, because I feel like our streams have been so freaking busy. We haven't had nearly enough time for Q&A, and I miss just chitty chatting with y'all. So we will, of course, do a chitty chat at the end, because it's just needed. We're going to go through the topics as quickly as we can so that we can do that. You guys, it's our first Friday Night Live in October. I don't know what's happening. I still can't believe it's not September. I'm just dying. Ty McNally, welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. So, y'all, we're gonna do our weekly roundup first. I told you what we're on the docket first. I'm curious as to the weekly roundup, what topics you are most excited to hear about. So, Tech, do you want to put a poll in the stream? What topics are you looking forward to hearing about most tonight? Britney, NBA, Twitch, Varsity Blues. Those are the 4. I mean, we talk about Britney a lot, but those are the 4. I'm so curious to see what you guys are interested in this evening, because we're mixing it up. We got some other stuff. I think we're going to start with the first Varsity Blues trial. Why? Because I'm so deeply offended by it. So let's get into the weekly roundup, and I will give you my offense. Every time I talk about the college admission scandal, I have to share how deeply offended I am by it. Look, it's been a busy week. Also this week, on a podcast, and I'm not sure which one, Tana Mojo Mongoose Mont Blanc said that she was in multiple lawsuits. I have been looking for those, haven't found them yet. They are not federal. They are probably state. I did not find them in LA, though she could have sued under her company name. So I am still sleuthing for the Tana Mojo lawsuits that she has alluded to. I am very, very curious about those. So when I find them, I will absolutely pull them up. So once we find the documents, I will pull them up. But first, let's talk about the first Varsity Blues trial ending with a guilty verdict after about 10 hours of deliberation. That's a fairly quick deliberation. It wasn't a super, super long trial. If you don't remember the college admission scandal, we're gonna just do a quick synopsis. A bunch of parents wanted their kids to get into bougie schools and bribed people and or had them sit for their tests privately and or had someone else take their test through a dude, the one dude who was like the guy who said he had a side door, not a back door, but like a side door into college. And that was using the fact that a lot of universities have, I mean, let's not say different standards, gentler standards for college athletes. And so a recruited college athlete has maybe a gentler college admission standard. Look, when you play sports to the level that you are getting recruited for Division 1 athletics, sometimes you might not have all of the other things that you would typically see on a resume because you've spent a lot of time playing your sport, training for your sport, going to the doctor for your sport, weightlifting for your sport. So it does take up a substantial amount of time and dedication. And so there's uh, a little credence given to that in the college admission process. And so this college counselor was helping parents use that side door to get their children who were not college athletes into college under this kind of loophole, if you will. I don't think it's a loophole. It's just more of a shifting of standards based on athletic ability. And so in this particular case, it was what, 57 different people charged, including the dude who did the thing, parents who paid the dude that did the thing, and coaches, including the water polo coach at the University of Southern California, which, just full disclosure, my brother went to UCLA. So did my husband. Go Bruins. But on the whole, trying to end route into a school like this is just, I don't know, offensive to me. And it was posing people, I mean, in the case of Lori Loughlin and her daughter, Olivia Jade, posing people to create a recruiting letter as if they were athletes. Like it wasn't just a wink, wink, nod, nod. Like there was scheming that happened. So with that, there were two individuals that decided to roll the dice at trial. Lots of the parents that were charged in this have already pled guilty, including Lori Loughlin, her husband, Felicity Huffman, and others. This trial was for two, Gamal Abdelaziz, Z-I-Z, Abdelazizi. That's what we're going with. And John Wilson, Abdelaziz, Abdelaziz, I think so. They were found guilty of conspiracy to get their kids into the top universities, one of them being USC, and for paying bribes to coaches and university officials. Wilson, in addition to that, was convicted of tax fraud. Why? Well, filing false tax returns, because he deducted the audacity. The audacity of the thing. He deducted the $220,000 bribe that he paid. He deducted it from his taxes, but it was a bribe to USC. So they binged him on the tax implications too. The acting U.S. attorney for the District of Massachusetts, this is a federal case in Boston, Nate Mendel, said that the defendants were blessed with privileges that few can imagine, yet they were still willing to break the law to guarantee an admission spot for their children at a college of their choosing. I have talked about this case on the Emily Show and on this channel. Part of the thing that offends me the most is part of being a parent, my opinion. Everyone parents differently. But I think part of being a parent is at some point your children have to stand on their own. And I think the run up through high school to college is helping your children to lean into their gifts so that they can be successful on their own. And I think these parents being willing to bribe college admissions officials in violation of the law for hundreds of thousands of dollars says nothing more to their children than, I'm sorry, boo boo, but we don't believe in you. We need you to go to this school, but we don't think you're actually good enough to get in because we have no faith in you as a human. And I think that, yes, they did damage. Obviously, they broke the law. I think the biggest damage done in the entire college admission scandal is the damage that was done to the kids whose parents decided that the kids' own path wasn't good enough and that the children themselves weren't good enough. And that is the lesson I take away from the college admission scandal is parents who aren't secure enough as people to stand on their own and say, it doesn't matter what my kid does because that has nothing to do with my value as a human. It's my job to create healthy, whole humans who get to pursue the life of their choosing without my judgment. It's not your job to judge your kids. It's your job to raise your kids. And I think the parents involved in the college admission scandals told their kids, you know what, sweetie, you're just not good enough. You're just not good enough for where I think you should be. And because I don't think you're good enough, I'm going to risk prison to ensure that you go to a university that I think is acceptable. I mean, in the case of Olivia Jade, she said that she really wasn't interested in going to college. And these are from her YouTube videos, that she enjoyed doing YouTube. She enjoyed being a lifestyle influencer, that she would have been happy going to ASU. And as a kid that grew up in Southern California, plenty of kids from Southern California roll off to ASU and have a fabulous time going there. But it seems that that wasn't good enough for her parents. And so they decided that she had to go to USC and they were going to pull out all the stops to get her there, which again says your life path that you want to pursue isn't socially acceptable to me. And I don't want to be judged based on your life choices. So I'm going to make sure that you get into the college that we deem acceptable. And you know what? I gotta be honest. The campus at ASU is way prettier than the campus at USC. USC is in the middle of downtown LA. It's the buildings on campus are pretty. It's not a pretty campus. I mean, I could get into the story about my friend who got stabbed in the parking lot after getting out of class, but we won't. It alludes to the point that USC is not necessarily where I'd want to force my kids to go. Then again, my kids learn quite a lot on this wonderful platform here, YouTube, and are questioning how much college is necessary. And that's a whole nother debate. So here's the thing. I was actually happy to see that they were convicted by jury. I think this will encourage others that are pending trial to maybe think twice. Juries don't love privileged people playing the victim. Let's just put it that way. Juries see through that real quick and are not highly empathetic of the argument that, but we didn't know it was against the law to pay these bribes. We thought this was going to be fine. Your average juror is going to call bullshit. If you have $220,000 to bribe someone to get your kid into school, most jurors can't relate to your life and don't have empathy for you because you felt that Johnny or Susie needed to go to USC. Like just not. So that's what it is. Sentencing is set for February 16th. I'll be very interested to see what the sentencing is. And there were a few quotes from the article on Law 360 that I'm going to pull up because I thought it was interesting. The trial lasted 11 days, seeking to convince the jury that the Abdulaziz individual paid over $300,000 to bribe the kind of the linchpin of this whole thing, Singer, the college admissions strategist, to get his daughter into USC as a basketball recruit, even though she had never made it past JV basketball. All the basketball players in here can just be offended that a JV basketball player was trying to get recruited onto the USC women's basketball team. The government claimed that Wilson paid $220,000 to have his son admitted to USC to play water polo. Even though he played the sport, he was not nearly good enough for the 6-time national championship program. I want to know, this article does not indicate to me, but I need to know, as a former Division I water polo player, I would like to know how tall this kid is. Like, tell me how big he is. Like, I want to know, because the USC men's water polo team are giants. They are so tall. I mean, my brother is my brother's tall. I mean, my brother's like 6'4", 6'5", and he was average height on his water polo team. There were definitely those taller, very few shorter. But I need to like I have questions. I have questions, and they're just my interest because I played water polo, and this pisses me all off. But the Wilson individual that also wrote this off as taxes also agreed to pay the college admission strategist $1.5 million to get his twin daughters into Harvard and Stanford as athletic recruits. And they have a recorded phone call. Because remember, Singer, the guy at the top, when he got dimed out, he sang like a canary. He was like, oh, go ahead and record my calls. You can pin other people if you're going to give me less of a slap on the wrist. So the person they were paying to bribe everybody turned on all of them and had recorded phone calls with them so he would get a better deal with the government. There is no loyalty among thieves, I will tell you that. So they were talking on the phone in a recorded phone call, and Wilson was haggling over a 2-for-1 deal to bribe less to get his twins into college. What? The government pointed out, and the prosecutor said they literally make up the sport. They were like, oh, sailing, maybe they could be sailing recruits. I don't know if there are Division I sailing teams, but they could be sailing recruits right there on the phone. And he said he isn't troubled by the fraud. He's haggling over the price. And those are those kind of those little moments that really solidify it for a jury when you're listening to the phone call of the guy talking about, hey, can we get a better deal to get this one? This one's going to Harvard, this one's going to Stanford, and that one's going to USC. Also, what does it say when you're the kid selected to go to USC, not Harvard or Stanford? What else does that say how your parents feel about you? So obviously they're not thrilled with the outcome of the jury. The defense argued that Singer was the Singer stinger. Singer was the individual that was the biggest problem, and not these parents that paid this money and ultimately wrote it off their taxes. However, the jury was like, we're not having any of your bullshit. So goodbye. Now, the sentences on this hadn't been high at all. So we will see what they get sentenced to, maybe 2 years. I don't know if it will be or not. So we'll see. They're definitely going to have to pay back funds. The tax implications are probably the thing that carries the highest sentence. And we'll see. When this gets sentenced, I will bring it back on a weekly roundup and talk to you about what the sentencing is, because I'm invested and have been invested for like ever. Oh, Fred is also invested. Fred's like, yes, ma'am. He's been asleep in that chair all day. And much like when your kids nap too much, he is now ready to mingle. Hi, buddy. We're just going to play with the microphone and walk on the keyboard. Perfect, my big boy. Fred's very excited because my parents are in town, and Fred adores my dad because my dad will sit and play with him forever and let him run all around, and he just loves it. All right, let's see what the poll said on what you guys were looking forward to seeing. Britney 75%, Twitch 13, NBA 6, Varsity 4. Okay, we're just going in reverse order of interest. Perfect. And for the 3,000 of you that are here this lovely Friday night, don't forget to do the likey things, the subscribey things. And if you want to go ahead and share it, go ahead and share it. We will get to Britney towards the end. We went varsity, we're going to go NBA, then Twitch. So let's talk about this NBA indictment because it's kind of a big thing. Like, have you guys been watching this on the news? We should swoop so we can timestamp it. We swooped. Have you guys been following this NBA indictment? It is fascinating to me, right? So I saw this breaking on social, and once again, because my parents have been in town, I have not been on social a ton because real life, sorry. But we're back at it. 18 former NBA players are charged in a $4 million healthcare fraud scheme. And I'll pull the indictment up in a minute, but I'm going to give you kind of the overview of what's happening here. The quick overview is that the players were conspiring or working together. Well, one of them seemed to lead the scheme in submitting claims for treatment that they didn't receive and then getting the kickbacks from those claims from the NBA's healthcare. So the NBA, in a statement to NPR, said that the allegations are particularly disheartening because the benefit plans provided by the NBA and the NBPA, the National Basketball Players Association, are critically important to support players' health and well-being throughout their careers and post-retirement lives. They also said that they will fully cooperate with the U.S. Attorney's Office in this matter. The head of the New York FBI's office, Driscoll, said that the FBI continued to focus on uncovering fraud schemes that cost the healthcare industry tens of billions of dollars a year. In this case, they said that the conspiracy was led by Terrence Williams, who began his career as a first-round NBA draft pick. Let me just pull this up so you guys can all see it too. How about we just do it that way, and then we'll pull up the indictment? Sure, why not? Sure, why not? We'll all talk about it together. So, Terrence Williams, who began his career as a first-round NBA draft pick in 2009, the indictment said he submitted $19,000 in fraudulent claims to the plan in November 2017 for chiropractic care, and the claims led to a $7,000 payout towards him. So, submitting claims for chiro care that he never received, and then the money went to him. The indictment said he then recruited other players to defraud the plan and offered to provide fraudulent invoices from a chiropractor and dentist in Southern California and a wellness office in Washington State. At least 10 of the ex-players paid kickbacks totaling $230,000 to Williams, according to the court documents. We'll get to the indictment in a second. And the lawyer who represented Williams in the past declined to comment. Arrests all happened this week on this. What was then the New Jersey Nets picked Williams as number 11 in the 2009 draft. He went on to play with 4 franchises: the Nets, Boston, Houston, and Sacramento over 4 seasons as a role player, averaging 7.1 points per game. Among others charged was Tony Allen, 6-time all-defensive team selection, and a member of the 2008 champion Boston Celtics. His wife was also indicted, which is the only wife we saw indicted in this thing. Tony Allen was not in custody on Thursday afternoon. The Memphis Grizzlies announced weeks ago that they plan to retire Allen's number at a January 28th game versus the Utah Jazz. The ex-players charged had journeyman careers playing for several different teams and never reached anywhere close to the enormous stardom or salary of other players. But the 18 players combined made $343 million in their on-court NBA careers, not counting outside income, endorsements, or any playing overseas, or what they made playing overseas, which some of them seem to do. So we've got a lot going on. Arrests occurred in Washington State, California, New York, Alabama, Illinois, Florida, Nevada, Georgia, and Tennessee. We're going to go through who's charged. All were charged with conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud and wire fraud. We're going to see a lot of wire fraud. Remember, the feds love them some wire fraud, which carries a potential penalty of up to 20 years in prison. Williams was also charged with aggravated identity theft, which carries a potential of 2 years in prison. Strauss said the charge was lodged because Williams tried to frighten a co-defendant into paying a kickback by impersonating an employee from the health plan's administrative manager, claiming that there was an issue with an invoice that might require co-defendant to pay back the money he'd received. Oh my. Oh my. So let's take a look real quick at this indictment and who is and isn't charged. I am not the biggest hoop ball fan, so I don't know all of the hoop ball players. Sorry, I just don't know, but we'll see. Oh, also, before I get to that, one of the allegations, or part of the allegations, I skipped this part in the article. We're going to go back real quick to the scheme, because I want to illuminate the point of how these types of things are prosecuted and the types of evidence that are used, because it's interesting to know, the facts from the fuckery and the fake news of it all. So the defendant's playbook involved fraud and deception, the U.S. attorney said at the news conference after FBI agents across the country arrested 15 ex-players and one of their wives in a 3-year conspiracy that authorities say started in 2017. According to the indictment returned in Manhattan federal court, the ex-players teamed up to defraud the supplemental coverage plan by submitting fraudulent claims to get reimbursed for medical and dental procedures that never happened. Strauss said prosecutors have travel records, email, and GPS data that proves the ex-players were sometimes far away from the medical and dental offices at the times when they were supposedly getting treated. In one instance, she said an ex-player was playing basketball in Taiwan when he was supposedly getting $48,000 worth of root canals and crowns on 8 teeth at a Beverly Hills, California dental office in 2018. I also went to our resident expert on the dental, Dr. B. And Dr. B was like, you wouldn't generally do 8 crowns in one day. That's an awful lot for one appointment. You definitely wouldn't do them while somebody was in Taiwan because they're not physically there. And we were speculating about how the doctors will get charged. It doesn't seem that the doctors are charged in this indictment, but doctors cannot bill for procedures that they do not complete. So I'm sure that will be coming. That might also be pending in their own local states or with their local licensing agencies, but that's not what we saw here based on this article. So let's get into who the people. Fred, you can't mouse on my mouse, little mouse. No, I'm trying to pull the screen up, buddy. Fred's like, no, what we're going to do is play with me more. But see, I need my mouse. He wants all the pets. So this is the indictment, United States of America versus Terrence Williams, Alan Anderson. So it's interesting because it looks like other than Williams, who they are alleging is kind of the lead, the point of the spear, if you will, everything else is in alphabetical order. He is at the tip, if you will. Terrence Williams, Alan Anderson, Anthony Allen, Desiree Allen. So that I'm assuming is the husband-wife duo. Shannon Brown, William Bynum, Ronald Glenn Davis, Christopher Douglas Roberts, aka Supreme Bay. I went down a rabbit hole. I was very curious why the AKA, and it was another Meta World Peace name change, which I thought was interesting. Melvin Eli, Jamario Moon, Darius Miles, Milton Palacio, Ruben Patterson, Eddie Robinson, Gregory Smith, Sebastian Telefair, Charles Watson Jr., Antoine Wright, and Anthony Rutan. So those are the players that have been charged. And we're going to look at this real quick because this is Weekly Roundup, not a deep dive. I don't know if anybody wants a deep dive on this, but we will. I'm kind of fascinated. This is a lot of people. They arrested 15 people in this. Count 1, conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud and wire fraud. At all relevant times in the indictment, the NBPA Health and Welfare Benefit Plan was a healthcare plan providing benefits to eligible, active, and former NBA players. Fred. From at least in or about 2017 up to and including at least in or about 2020. Oh, we love a federal indictment and how it's worded. The defendants and others, known and unknown, engaged in a widespread scheme to defraud the plan by submitting and causing to be submitted false and fraudulent claims for reimbursement of expenses for medical and dental services that the defendants that were never actually rendered. Over the course of the scheme, the defendants submitted and caused to be submitted to the plan false and fraudulent claims totaling approximately $3.9 million, from which defendants in total received $2.5 million in fraudulent proceeds. Terrence Williams orchestrated the scheme to defraud. Williams recruited other plan participants, the other players, to defraud the plan for kickbacks. They go on and list the other players. They talk about that he received at least $230,000. They give background on the healthcare plan. I'm not surprised that the NBA has their own healthcare plan and how they participate in the plan. We're not going to deep dive into the healthcare benefits of NBA players because who needs to know? Relevant persons, they list through the different NBA players. Desiree Allen is the spouse of Anthony Allen. Chiropractic office. One was a chiropractic and rehabilitation office in Encino, California, affiliated with a particular chiropractor, Chiropractor 1, Dental Office 1, and Dental Office 2 were dental offices in Beverly Hills, affiliated with a particular dentist. So 2 locations of one dentist office. I want the names. I want to know. I want to know who the doctors are and if they made a deal with the feds. But I imagine there's going to be other problems. Wellness office was a doctor's office that advertised its specialties in sexual health, anti-aging, general well-being in Washington State, and was affiliated with Dr. 1. Dr. 2 is a particular doctor affiliated with a healthcare facility that advertised specialties in conventional medicine and alternative and natural therapies. Fred, no, you can't. Fred! Fred, you're stepping on the indictment, buddy. Fred, Fred. Are y'all watching Nailed It? Are y'all watching season 6 of Nailed It? My friend John was on season 6 of Nailed It. I'll have to share it on Twitter, but my friend John was on Nailed It. It was wonderful. It was so fun to watch him on TV, but we love the way Nicole Breyer says Wes, and now that has become the way we yell for people in my household. So whether it's Fred or the kids, it's like, Fred. Anyway, more than you needed to know. Let's scroll back and try to find our place before Fred stepped on the down key and scrolled us past where we were. Okay, we don't want the healthcare plan information. You just want to be here. Yeah, there's no streaming. There's no streaming with a cat, friends. It's just Fred is just not going to. He wants to sit on this side instead of sitting on this side. And he's like, I am not having it. I'm like, no, I need my right hand. I need this hand. We need this hand. He's like, no, I don't want you to pet me with the left hand. Pet me with the right hand. Oh, we have a cat break. All right, Fred. We've talked about the chiropractor's office, the fraudulent scheme. We talked about the reimbursement claim set that was outlined in the article that we went over. Terrence Williams and Alan Anderson assisted in procuring fraudulent letters of medical necessity for Ronald Glenn Davis, Charles Watson Jr., and Antoine Wright in furtherance of the fraudulent scheme from the chiropractic office. Invoices were fabricated by CC1 and CC2, which means that the doctors were involved. They're just not indicted on this one, but that's going to be bad. If you're the doctors and you're seeing this indictment go down, you know it's like, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you come for you? Unless it was completely done fraudulently and the doctors never had any idea, but they kind of indicate the doctors by saying invoices fabricated by CC1 and CC2 for them. So that's not good. That's not good for the doctors at all. So we will see. They go on to talk about the letters being off a little bit and having misspellings and formatting errors. Let's see. The May 31st, 2019 chiropractic letters were submitted to the administrative manager to obtain reimbursement for the May 8th claims. The May 31st letters were unusual in several respects. They are not on letterhead, contain unusual formatting, have grammatical errors, and one of the letters misspells the patient's name. So I wonder if that's one of the things that tipped off the plan to being like, oh, how were these not on official letterhead? Were they on official letterhead? Did the doctors not know that their letterhead was being used? Was it recreated? Things like that. So we will see. So they go through the claim. And again, if you guys are interested about this, we can deep dive into this indictment a little more in a podcast episode because it's interesting stuff. Let's see. The board later independently reviewed the chiropractic office claims of Anthony Allen, Sebastian Telefar, Alan Anderson, and Shannon Brown, the defendants. As a part of this review, the board tried to substantiate that they had received the medical service from the chiropractic office that formed the basis of their claims. They concluded that they had not received their services. The board concluded that the chiropractic office claims should not be approved and retroactively denied their claims. The board also advised that Anthony Allen, Telefar, Anderson, and Brown needed to repay the money they received in connection with the claims. Anthony Allen repaid $350,000 of the $420,000 they owed to the plan for his chiropractic office and dental office claims. Telefar, Anderson, and Brown did not make any repayments to the plan, nor did they appeal the board's decision. So this definitely went down with more investigation from the board of it looks like the healthcare plan, but that doesn't stop the fraud. Like, just getting the money back does not mean that it wasn't done. So that's a very interesting breakdown. All right. This is a substantial look. When I said we were going to take a quick look at the indictment, this is a substantial indictment at 32 pages long with this entire scheme laid out about when they went to what doctor, how much they claimed, and how much they got back. So let's see where is count 2? Here's count 2, aggravated identity theft. So 29 of 32 pages is just count 1 for all of those defendants. Count 2 is the aggravated identity theft. The grand jury further charges The allegations contained in paragraph 1 through 54 of the indictment are repeated on or about February 27th in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. Terrence William, the defendant, knowingly transferred, possessed, and used without lawful authority a means of identification of another person during and in relation to a felony violation. That's going to be the scheme here. During and in relation to a felony violation, to what Williams used the name, employer, business address, main business phone number, and business fax number of another person, namely administrative manager employee 1, during and in relation to the offense charged in count 1 of the indictment. I now have cat hair. Apologies. I keep touching my face because Fred has gifted me with little cat hairs on my nose. Thank you, Fred. We appreciate that. We appreciate having hair. It's just going to be a cat interruption kind of a night. So that is going to be very interesting. They are going to do asset forfeitures on these, meaning any monies they got are going to be disengorged from them. I'm sure there will be investigations into the doctors. Fred has helpfully re-scrolled this. So we're just going to let the scroll roll. We're going to move on to our next story because we're already 30 minutes in. But I expect we'll see quite a lot come from this. There's a huge Lakers medical facility in the town where I used to live when we would drive by it, just a huge medical facility. I mean, it's no joke. And I imagine being a professional athlete, your body, I mean, I was not the world's best athlete. My body hurt for years and still does sometimes. So I can't imagine the healthcare that's needed. But defrauding the scheme is not good. And this is something I've seen even in local court, because this is something that came up on the state prosecutor level as well, of people submitting claims that for treatments they never received and taking the money. I won't rant about if healthcare wasn't so complicated, fraud wouldn't be rampant in the system, but it's the same with tax. People are like, oh, tax fraud's common. I'm like, well, the system's really complicated. The more complicated you make the thing, the more rife it is for fraud. But we should just move on because we have one more story to talk about before we get into Britney Spears, and that's Twitch, which will maybe be briefer because there's not an indictment, but there is a lawsuit. Let's talk about Twitch, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things. God, the voice sounds awful tonight. Fred's like, what are you doing? Let's talk about Twitch. Let's talk about Twitch. Twitch had a major breach. Did you guys watch all the Twitch streamers freak out on Twitter over like literally WTF? Twitch had a massive, massive breach of their platform, and it looks like the breach is just part 1. So I went through articles on both The Verge and on CNET for these to kind of find out the extent of this breach, and then we'll touch on the Twitch lawsuit a little bit and dive deeper into that. I don't know if we need to. I'm waiting to see what happens a little bit more before we dive deeper into that Twitch lawsuit. But you guys are like, Twitch, who's Twitch? Twitch, you know, Amazon streaming platform, mostly used for gamers, but also used for other stuff. Like Aphrodite. Aphrodite streams on Twitch and then clips it down to YouTube. So Twitch has massive streamers on platform who are platform dedicated and really can only stream on their platform. They pay quite a lot to some of their top streamers, and all of that information was leaked along with all of their data. So an anonymous hacker on Wednesday posted 125 gigabytes of a torrent containing the information to a 4chan or the 4chan message board. But that leak had all of the source code for Twitch. All of the source code for Twitch being leaked onto the internet means Twitch is going to have to spend a lot of money trying to lock it down. All of their source code, and not just their source code, but also quite a bit of data, including how much the streamers make. Yikes. 3 years worth of details regarding creator payouts, the entirety of twitch.tv with history going back to its early beginnings, the source code for mobile, desktop, and video gaming for Twitch clients, the code related to the proprietary SDKs and internal AWS services used by Twitch, which is Amazon Web Services. So the entire proprietary breakdown. An unreleased Stream competitor. Stream is a gaming platform where you can download video games to desktop and play them. So an unreleased Stream competitor from Amazon Game Studios data on other Twitch properties like IGDB and CruiseForge, and then Twitch's internal security tools. So, first, if you have a Twitch account, change your password. Um, Second, I'm sure that if they have all of this, including the source code, any credit card information that may be why are words hard tonight? Stored with Twitch, I would consider insecure at this point, and I would keep an eye on that information and maybe go and take that information off of Twitch. Um, the leak was labeled as part one, which indicates to everyone that there is probably more to come. Somebody was bragging about the fact that Jeff Bezos paid like $90 million for this information and they were out here giving it away in these streets for free. Twitch confirmed the leak. Oh, there we go, Fred. Well, you've left me with a face full of cat hair, but I'm glad you're going to go get comfy back there. So Fred is like, we out, we out. Images of the earnings list shared on social media appear to show Critical Role, a Dungeons and Dragons web series, as the top earner from August 2019 to October 2021, followed by other popular streamers, including XQC and Summit 1G. The leak was labeled Part 1, suggesting there's more to come. The hacker didn't say what other data they plan to release. In the 4chan post, they also take a dig at Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, saying Jeff Bezos paid $970 million for this. We're giving it away for free. So it is time to change the passwords. It is time to remind everyone about two-factor authentication using a password manager. You know that Nord has always been a sponsor of the channel, is not a sponsor of tonight's stream, but NordPass is a password manager where you can digitize and randomize long-form passwords. God, I am sorry. It is just, there is little cat fluff all on my face. So absolutely go ahead and change your passwords. This looks like more information is going to come out. This breach is just, if Twitch doesn't take their data security seriously, they are going to have to, because I don't know, with the source code out there, people are going to find ways to just shut the platform down, among other nefarious things that they'll be able to do now that they have the source code. And this comes like what, a month after Twitch filed a lawsuit against people who are doing kind of hate raids on Twitch. Hate raids on Twitch are raiding into a chat, hateful shit, hate speech, racial slurs, things like that. So Twitch is suing in federal court to try to shut this down, but I imagine that trying to shut it down because it's a terms of use issue is going to be difficult now that the source code's out there, because other people are going to be able to use that source code to find all kinds of workarounds inside of Twitch to do all kinds of shit. So I won't be surprised if we see more problems to come on the Twitch platform. I just wanted to pull up the Twitch lawsuit real quick because, yes, they are suing federal suit in San Francisco. I'm going to keep touching my face until I get rid of all of this cat hair. Fred. Twitch Interactive Inc. is suing Cruise Control and Creative Overdose. Twitch Interactive is one of the world's leading services for content creators to stream content as part of a social interactive community. Each month, millions of people come together to create their own entertainment, live, never to be repeated experience created by the magical interactions of many. Are we having magical interactions? I hope that we're having magical interactions. I love the way that the lawyers are describing what streaming is. Yes, live streaming is magic. We love a live stream. Well, you know, we love a live stream. In 2020, users watched over 1 trillion minutes of content, and Twitch.tv had 30 million average daily visitors. What? Twitch's success is due in part to the measures it has taken to create a safe and accessible community for its millions of users. Creators. It's creators. That's the time to talk about its creators. You called them magic. Thank the creators in the lawsuit, or don't. But yes, platforms giving creators tool to create a safe environment is hugely necessary. And one of the issues that I do see in the Twitch sphere, which is one of the reasons I don't stream on Twitch. The safety of Twitch's community is its top priority. For that reason, Twitch took, Twitch took enough precautions that its entire source code was just leaked to the interwebs. Look, companies, here's an aside, not legal advice. Whatever your IT departments are, just double it, because cyber attacks are the way people go after companies. And if your company is not protected, you're not protected. So I don't care how many executives you have, double down on cybersecurity. All right. Your IT people are your best line of defense. Treat them like gold. Maybe pay them as much as you pay your executives who sit in their office and make decisions. Maybe that, because your entire platform is at risk now that the source code is out, and you've got a lot of work to do to resecure your platform after this massive leak. The safety of Twitch's community is its top priority. Again, this was filed on September 9th. Just by just. I wonder if the defendants are going to be like, actually, it seems that there are statements in the verified complaint that are false, because clearly the safety of Twitch's community is not its top priority. Exhibit 1, data leak. I would love to see that argument made. I don't know if it's necessarily appropriate, but I think it would be funny. So, For this reason, Twitch forbids harassment and threats on the Twitch services. Yet they abound, though. Its terms of service prohibit users from creating, uploading, transmitting, or streaming any content that is unlawful, defamatory, obscene, pornographic. Twitch, you're saying this with a straight face in a lawsuit. Pornographic, harassing, threatening, abusive, or otherwise objectionable. As expressed in its community guidelines, Twitch does not tolerate hateful conduct and harassment. Twitch specifically bans discrimination, denigration, harassment, or violence based on the following protected characteristics: race, ethnicity, color, caste, national origin, immigration status, religion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, serious medical condition, and veteran status. Twitch has a zero tolerance for hateful conduct. All right, well, that's not what Twitch streamers generally say, but okay. Beginning in or on August 2021, defendants began flooding Twitch streamers with hateful conduct. This type of targeted attack is known colloquially as a hate raid. We know how Emily feels about raids. These hate raids often target streamers from marginalized groups, which is completely unacceptable. Defendants attack these streamers by flooding their chats with bot-powered Twitch accounts that spew racist, sexist, and homophobic language and content. Twitch took swift action against defendants by suspending and eventually permanently banning. Why eventually? Why did it take time to permanently ban them? Anyway, eventually permanently banning defendants' known Twitch accounts. Defendants were undeterred. They evaded Twitch's bans by creating new alternative Twitch accounts and continually altering their self-described hate raid code to avoid detection and suspension by Twitch. Imagine what's going to happen now that the source code is out there. And for any of you who I'm just glossing over, I don't mean to. The source code is the blueprint to the Death Star in this case. It is all of the information. So the source code are the plans to the Death Star. Defendants' actions seriously harmed and will continue to harm the Twitch community. Duh. Streamers who were victims of hate raids experience mental health issues. No shit. And some have reported cutting back on streaming to avoid persistent harassment. Because why wouldn't you? If you're on a platform where you are persistently harassed by bots and there is nothing that can be done about it, why would you continue making content on that platform for them to be able to monetize off and benefit of at your own mental health and detriment? Why would you bother? And that also creates a loss for Twitch, which allows them to say, look, we've been damaged by this, which I get is needed for a lawsuit, but still, of course they would. And then they talk about the Washington Post article on this subject. Members of the community have called on Twitch to prevent the raids, as they should. Twitch expended significant resources investigating and banning defendants, as well as implementing updated security measures intended to halt and prevent defendants' unlawful actions. Despite these efforts, defendants' actions are ongoing. They continue to promote and engage in hate raids. If they are not stopped, defendants will continue to harass and disrupt the Twitch community with hate raids. Twitch brings this action to end their unlawful, fraudulent, and offensive activities, enforce its contracts with defendants, and hold defendants accountable. The contract they are saying is, let's see, we kind of went through the basic facts in that intro, but we're going to look at the exact charges and then we will go through this more. It's basically a breach of contract with the terms of service and terms of use, because those are contracts. They're adhesion contracts, but they are contracts. So the count one is breach of contract under California common law, which is going to be the breach of the terms of use and terms of service. They list the specific ones, fraud and the inducement. So they're saying that when they got banned and restarted their accounts, that the restarting the account means they're being fraudulent. They're agreeing to the thing and they know they're going to break it. In registering their Twitch accounts, defendants agreed to be bound by the terms. In particular, they represent and agree not to conduct hostile raids, post hateful, harassing content, harass or defame other Twitch users, deploy bots in a manner not permitted by the terms. Twitch's reliance was reasonable and otherwise justified, but defendants had no intention because they did the thing, they got banned, they started new accounts, they agreed, they did the thing, they got banned. So that's the second one. Third, look, friends, don't format things this way. Do not just drop it down a line. No need to hide it on the 28th line. Like, let's just give the third claim for relief the space that it needs and put it on the next page. Just a matter of particularity from me. They go ahead and statutory unfair competition, realleging the above, defendants engaged in unlawful, unfair, and fraudulent business practices. I don't know if that's how that's meant to be used. I think the other two causes of actions are a little more clear. Defendants' business practices or acts are injured and will continue to injure Twitch and its businesses and property. I mean, that's fair. They're going to have to prove that these are actual businesses. And I don't know if that cause of action might get dropped. I don't know if these are just user handles or actual businesses, but it's going to be really interesting to see how Twitch continues to handle this, because Twitch now has much larger fish to fry with its entire source code being leaked and with this being leak number one. But I really don't understand the purpose of just creating a bot to harass creators on a platform. And you know, I wonder if YouTube will or Google truly take a page from what happened with Amazon and work on securing the YouTube platform more and work on enforcing its own terms of service more, including harassment on the platform, not just by viewers, but also by creators, and really looking at those that are breaking terms of service and how they're going to enforce that. So it's something that all platforms and all social media platforms have to deal with. It's something that has to be addressed. They're continuing to try to address it, but we will see how they continue to address it. The cat hair, y'all, seriously, it's killing me. And I still love my cat, and I'm not going to kick him out when I stream because he entertains the shit out of me. But so that is Twitch. Are you guys ready? We have lots of new Britney Spears minute orders. Are we ready? We're ready. It's been almost an hour. You're like, it's Britney, bitch. Let's do it. Yes, let's do it. I'm going to swoop and see if I can get any more of this cat hair off my face. That swoop's not nearly long enough for trying to get cat hair off of my face, but you know, it is what it is. Let's talk about Britney Spears. Are y'all ready? There are so many new documents in the Britney case, even from when we talked on Tuesday. And it just blows me away the amount of things that keep coming in this case. So we're going to go through, because again, I have such a wonderful memory. Thank you, ADHD and being in my 40s, that I want to make sure I didn't miss any of the minute orders, and I don't exactly remember all of the minute orders I covered. So we're going to do a quick run through of all the minute orders. And then we're going to look at the new letters of conservatorship. And then we're going to look at sassy objections. And then we're going to just go into a big old Q&A, chitty chat. All right, good. Let's start with the minute order. The first minute order, and this is not in any particular order. This is in the order I have them listed in. There are lots of them. There are like 9 or 10 minute orders. Let's see, 9 times. 9 times. There are 9 different minute orders that we're going to be going through this evening together. Okay. So I see your questions. Charlene Anderson, this is a great question. What is a minute order? A minute order is just a quick order from the court. It is not an extensive written out opinion. It is literally their quick order of what happened in court. They are called minute orders in California jurisdictions. They are normally spelled MINUTE orders, minute, small. They are little orders. So some are like, should they be pronounced minute order, minute order? They are the short orders of the court. They are not a long, lengthy, written out definition or order. They are on a quicker format, and they are uploaded. And when they're uploaded onto, here I can show you real quick. When they're uploaded onto the system, I'll show you what they populate different than a court order. So the minute order is like, this is what happened in court. Generally, a court order is going through, as all the non-legal legal commentary channels are taking notes, the difference between a minute order and a court order. A court order is like something happened in court. They took it under submission and made an order. Something came in ex parte and they made an order. A minute order is a short recitation of an order that's been made in court. I hope that accurately describes it, but I'll show you the difference because let's see. You can see when we let's go to documents filed. So I'm looking at the case docket for Britney, and you'll see the difference. You'll see minute orders listed here. So these are all the different minute orders. Some of them are duplicates, but all the different minute orders that were filed after the September 29th hearing. These didn't populate that day, but the ruling was made that day. So then they are populating on that day in the system, but sometimes they are not available. I mean, excuse me, half of these weren't available on Tuesday. When I looked, they weren't available until later in the week, even though they're ruled from the 29th. Hopefully this breakdown of how court works is helpful. Then you'll also see these orders. So an order is literally a court order that didn't already happen in court, that is a new order. So there was a media request that was already denied. That's a court order. There's a court order extending temporary letters, which we'll get to, and a court order appointing the temporary conservator that we'll get to. So these, the bond was issued, other letters were issued, but these are the orders made. These are the minute orders reciting what happened in court. So anyway, question. So minute orders are like a decision memo. It depends on the jurisdiction. Generally, if decision, and I've not worked in jurisdictions with decision memos, but it generally covers what's already been done in court versus orders that are new information. So hopefully that helps. And maybe then, yes. All right, let's go. Let's move forward. I saw a comment that was pointed out from Ben. And was that a super chat? I don't know where I lost Ben's comment. Ben! Ben said, my girlfriend is a popular entertainer. How can I convince a court to make her a conservator so I can take control of her life and all of her assets? Tell the court that the scent of nail polish has driven her crazy and she is unable to take care of the day-to-day. Of course, I don't know how it works in Canada, but this is just my speculation. I would lean into some kind of nail polish poisoning or nail polish fume poisoning, maybe. All of the different peelies have perhaps led to some kind of a noxious intoxication when doing it for the audience. So Ben, thank you for the question, and Tech, thank you for grabbing it so that I saw it. All right, let's get into all of these orders. Look, there is so much going on here. We also have updated dates. We have a 12/8 date that's coming up for Britney, and of course that 11/12 hearing and an 11 a.m. hearing, which is going to be just an authority hearing on the conservatorship. And there probably won't be a ton to cover, but we will see. So let us get into those minute orders real quick. Minute order number 1 in the order that I've pulled them up in. We've already gone through who was present in court, who was present personally. We know that Rosengart made the decision to be present physically in court. I think it was a fantastic strategic decision and absolutely needed to happen. This is the laundry list of parties that were that were present, just a handful in court. This is regarding the allowance of fees filed on March 29th by Jody Montgomery, the temporary conservator of the person. All parties appeared, we know that. The court takes testimony. The court authorizes a 50% allowance for outstanding fees on account and instructs the currently serving conservator of the estate to pay the temporary conservator of the person, Jody Montgomery, in the amount of $22,119 for services rendered from November 1st, 2019 to February 28th, 2021. The court authorizes 50% allowance for outstanding fees on account and instructs the currently serving conservator of the estate to pay Wright Kim Douglas ALC, the lawyers, in the amount of $6,547 for legal services rendered to the temporary conservator of the person from November 1st, 2019 to February 28th, 2021. The court continues the matter to a date indicated below and sets a file by date for objections by Holland and Knight to be no later than October 31st, 2021, as to the issue of the remaining fee request. So the court granted 50% and said, if you have objections to the rest, you have to file the objections by Halloween. The petition allowance of fees on March 29th is continued to Wednesday, December 8th. And that's why I said we're seeing this December 8th date. Some of these fee matters are being continued. So the court said, we can pay half of it and then we'll look into it more. The temporary letters of conservatorship of the person are extended until Friday, December 31st, 2021. And we'll see that order more formally made as well. Remember, the temporary conservator of the person is Jody Montgomery. Her temporary conservatorship of the person was extended until October, and the court just extended that until the end of the year. I think this is, again, anticipating that Matthew Rosengart is going to be asking to terminate the conservatorship in November on that November 12th court date. All right, let's get to the next one and see what it has to say. The next one is the big one. This is the one I made available. I made that available on Twitter. There's a link that I put up, and I will add the link down here as well. If you guys want your very own copy of kind of the big minute order that suspends James Spears, we covered this Tuesday. I'm not going to cover it much in depth because we did cover it on Tuesday. But the court suspends Jamie P. Spears as conservator of the estate and appoints John Zabel as the temporary conservator. And then it went through the different powers that were appointed. The one that I will like to continue to note and point out is this includes the power to enforce and or waive NDAs, which is very interesting, and also to prosecute civil harassment restraining orders as necessary. So it's going to be very interesting watching what happens after this. The court indicated the same bond. So that's what's going on with this. Again, I put this up on Twitter so that you guys have access to it if you wanted a copy of this order for, posterity, because this is the one that says James is suspended. I wanted it. I figure y'all might too. So that is up on my Twitter, and I will repost it on Twitter, and I will post it back down below again. Let's get to the appointment of the conservator of the estate. And this, again, what are we on? Minute order number 3. The matter is called for hearing. All parties appear to be at court connect. The court takes testimony. The court finds this petition is superseded. The petition to appoint conservator of the estate filed 7/26 is denied. This is the one that involved the other individual, Rund, not the new person, Zabel, and that's why it was done that way. So this is a denied because, well, The other one was superseding it, and that one was granted. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let's get to the next one. Appointing the I think this should be the one appointing the conservator of the person. No, this is the same one that I just pulled up. All right, we're on number 4 with regard to the ex parte fees that we pulled up. So let's tuck into this one. Ex parte petition filed on July 7th, 2021 by Jody Montgomery. This is regarding the security fees. The court finds that Jody Montgomery has withdrawn the ex parte, so this matter is permanently off calendar. The security must have gotten sorted out or it was no longer needed. That was going to be through Black Box. I pulled that motion up again recently to go through it because it had the emails back and forth about Black Box. And after that latest New York Times documentary, controlling Britney Spears, I was like, ooh, I'm wondering if Black Box was who James Spears was recommending to Jody Montgomery, and sure as shit, it was at like exorbitant amounts, like what, $25,000 a week or something like that. So we pulled that up and went back through it. So let's get to the next petition, a petition for allowance of fees filed on March 26th by James Spears. Let's see what Yeeted Spears has to say. I'm trying not to swallow loudly into the mic, but also we need to hydrate. We've already gone through this with water. Oh, almost. And my throat is just, we're dry. We're getting into winter here in Tennessee. You can tell it's like fall because the air is not nearly as humid as it was. All right. Petition for allowance of fees filed on March 26th by James Spears. All parties appear to be court connect, court testimony. The court having suspended James P. Spears as conservator of the estate. Oh, we just love to see it, don't we? We want to see it the second time. We want to see it the second time. The court having suspended James P. Spears as conservator of the estate of Britney Jean Spears this date and having appointed John Zabel as temporary conservator of the estate continues this matter to a date indicated below. The petition for allowance of fees filed is continued to Wednesday, December 8th. The court gives Yasha Bronstein an okay to set a fee petition to be heard on the same date and time listed above. The temporary letters of conservatorship of the person are extended until Friday, December 31st. So they are still going to fight over the fees and the fee petitions. This is not just including the 12th accounting, but this is included fee petitions that came after it. This particular one is for Dad Spears getting paid like, hey, I'm ready to get paid now. And the court's like, we'll chitty chat in December 8th, even though everybody's got their eye on the November date. I do too. We're not going to take our foot off the gas here because I want to see what happens with the money, because just getting Britney out of this conservatorship for me is just one more step. Figuring out what's going on with this money and looking at these fee petitions needs to also continue, and I will continue covering it. One, because I'm deeply invested. It's like when you get into a TV show and then the last seasons are not as entertaining, but you just can't stop watching it because you're so deeply invested in the characters and you're like, I need to ride this till the end. Like if you stop, I'm good. I'm not going to be sad, but I have to see it till the end. That's how I feel about these fee petitions. It might not be as explosive as getting Britney out of this conservatorship or as getting her dad removed, but the money matters to me and I want to know. Okay, let's get to the petition to terminate the conservatorship filed on September 7th, 2021. This is one I was looking for and it wasn't available on Tuesday. And when I went back today, I was like, oh, goody. Let's see how the court denied this or if the court held it over, because I'm not sure how the court decided to handle this petition. So the court takes testimony. The court having suspended James P. Spears as conservator of the estate of Britney Jean Spears this date and having appointed John Zabel as temporary conservator continues this matter to the date indicated below. The petition to terminate the conservatorship is continued to Friday, November 12th at 1:30. Okay, so that's the authority they're using to hold this over to the 12th. So this petition will be heard on November 12th, which indicates this part was lost on me as to why they were like, Rosengart was saying he was anticipating seeing this potentially end on November 12th. And now I understand better why that we see this minute order saying, no, this petition to terminate was carried over to the 12th. So that's going to be very interesting because now we have this motion to terminate that's still pending. So the motion to terminate the conservatorship is still pending, and there doesn't need to be another one filed. So if we don't see another petition to terminate filed, we don't need another one. This one's being held over until the 12th. Very good to know. These are like little details, but very, very good to know. All right, let's go look at Ingham's, the minute order for Ingham's fee petition and see what happened with his money. I imagine, because what we saw with regard to Britney's law army reporting this on Twitter was that there was some back and forth, and Ingham was supposed to be paid and hadn't been paid yet. And the court was like, literally WTF. So let's see what the minute order indicates. The court takes testimony. This is on allowance of fees filed on March 26, 2021 by Samuel D. Ingham, Esquire. I don't know why the third ended up here and the rest of his name ended up like that. Because it's Samuel D. Ingham, Esquire, the third, or is it the third Esquire? I don't know. I don't care that deeply, but let's see what the court had to say. The court having suspended James Spears as conservator. Yep, we know. The petition allowance of fees filed by Sam Ingham's name that's gotten all chopped up strangely with commas on March 26th is continued to December 8th. Okay, so all the money, it looks like, is just going over to the 8th. Great. We'll talk about money on December 8th. Fantastic. Next minute order. This is the last one. Wait, where'd it go? There's a lot of clicking happening over here, y'all. We gotta just like click, click, boom, to pull up all these minute orders. Like, let's just take a minute. I'm just like, oh, thank God that we pre-populated all of these so they were easy to pull up. Like, sometimes we're professional, sometimes it's a hot mess. I feel like I couldn't have handled the cat hair and then not being able to find all these minute orders. So, we're thankful for small favors of organization in my ADD life. All right. All parties appear. The court takes testimony. The court having suspended James P. Spears. Same. The accounting conservatorship filed by James P. Spears, August 6th, 2020. Is continued until Wednesday, December 8th. So we're going to see more objections with regard to these for sure. But the accounting is now continued also to December 8th. All the money stuff. This accounting was filed August 6th, 2020, and it's still not resolved, and they're still fighting over the money. And they're still going to fight over the money. Like, we're just not done. We're just not done fighting over the money. All right. Now that we are done with the minute orders, let's get into the court's October 6th order. So from minute orders to court order, let's get into the court order. There's a new court order. Yay. What does it do? Well, we already know what it did. So it's kind of anticlimactic, but it just extends the letters of temporary conservatorship of the person to December 31st, 2021, which carries it past the date when they anticipate the conservatorship being terminated. It seems on November 12th. That's when the motion to terminate is being held over to. So these letters of conservatorship were going to expire in October, and now instead of letting that expire, it is being held over to the end of the year to give space for the conservatorship to be terminated. So, yay! Let's look at the official documents, the official and final yeeting of James Spears. Well, this is of the person. Should we do is it more exciting if we do the estate first? I think it is. I agree with you. You're right. You're right. We should just do the estate first. These are the new temporary conservatorship of the estate issued October 7th. John Zabel is appointed temporary conservator of the estate of Britney Spears. The powers have been granted. The letter shall expire December 31st, 2021. Signed, dated, delivered, notice and instructions, signed by John Zabel and accepted. This is attachment 2. We went through the additional powers when we read through that minute order really thoroughly. So these are the additional powers that are being granted to John Zabel. Is there anything else that we need to cover in this? We already covered those on Tuesday. And this includes the power to authorize professional opportunities, the power to prosecute civil harassment restraining orders, the power to contract for the conservatorship, perform outstanding contracts, bind the estate, including asserting and waiving confidentiality agreements. Bing, bing, bing. Item number 10, please. We love you, item number 10. And so those are them. And then this is the temporary letters of the conservatorship of the person that are being formally extended with the attachment to powers. We went over these previously in the last one, but these are a little bit different. So let's go over the new powers for the temporary conservator of the person who is granted the same powers as previously granted to James P. Spears as conservator of the person on the January 9th, 2009 order. The temporary conservator shall have the power to restrict and limit visitors by any means, provided that the temporary conservator shall not prevent the conservatee from meeting with her attorney, Matthew Rosengart, except to approve the location for meetings or visits in advance. The temporary conservator shall have the power to retain caretakers for the conservatee on a 24/7 basis, the power to retain security guards on a 24/7 basis. I hope that maybe that's been lessened a bit. I really hope so. The conservator shall have the power to prosecute civil harassment restraining orders. The temporary conservator shall have the power to communicate with treating and other expert medical personnel regarding the conservatee. So can talk to doctors, can plan for doctors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So those are the newest, latest, and greatest. Let's go through this objection from Rosengart. We started going through it on Tuesday. We are an hour and 15 minutes in, so we're going to spend 15 more minutes going through it, and then we're going to move on to questions. I've been seeing them in the chat. I know you guys have a ton of questions. I know we've been getting super chats. 15 minutes, we're going to get to questions. We're just going to go through this a little bit more. We went through part of it on Tuesday. We're going to go through part of it now. There's a lot of documents in the Britney case, y'all. This one is the objections with regard to finances, right? So conservatee Britney Spears objects to James P. Spears' petition for order allowing and approving payment of compensation to conservator and attorneys for conservator and for reimbursement of costs. So this is going to be heard on December 8th, and we're gonna lip gloss. We're just gonna do the thing. We are wearing pink frosting by Gerard Cosmetics. It has a light. It has a mirror. It's my favorite. There's a link down below. I love Gerard Cosmetics. Hello, Jen Gerard. It's good to see you. I know you will watch if you are not currently watching. So we are saying hi. So Jen Gerard's a law nerd, and we love that, and has an adorable paw nerd, and we love that, and rocks a purple dew, and we love that too. So we've talked about the misconduct of Mr. Spears has been well documented, including the recording of Britney. The shade lives in this glorious footnote that we covered on Tuesday. If you did not watch on Tuesday, we're going to briefly cover this glorious footnote because it deserves a second recitation. Let's get to the sentence that leads to the footnote, and then into the footnote voice into the footnote. The allegations at issue obviously warrant serious investigation. This includes the recording of Britney in her home. In the interim, those reported actions cast his petition, James's, in an even harsher and deeply troubling light for the reasons herein all proposed fees are in question and subject to disgorgement and clawbacks. James, we're coming for your money and you're not gonna get it. Pay your lawyers yourself. This is also true regarding his counsel's latest filing objections to the successor conservator of the estate, as Mr. Spears should know. Oh, by the way, this was filed before the September 29th hearing, so this was filed before that petition was granted. As Mr. Spears should know, California law expressly allows licensed CPAs to serve, and the nominee, John Zabel, is a highly esteemed, nationally recognized, award-winning CPA with an impeccable record of serving in positions of trust, in stark contrast to Mr. Spears, A reported alcoholic and gambling addict with zero financial background or experience in financial matters who previously filed for bankruptcy and has a domestic violence restraining order currently in effect against him. Don't fuck with the lawyers. They are going to lay you out in one way or another. This has riled the lawyers. Like, I love to watch people try, but it always breaks down badly, particularly, we said that very oddly, particularly, we can't speak this evening, particularly in the sassy footnotes. We love the amount of shade and we love the way he just, it's like we're sitting in this allegations and shade footnote calling you a reported alcoholic gambling addict with zero financial backgrounds, no experience, you filed for bankruptcy and you had a domestic violence restraining order. What? Come at me, Dad Spears. Come at me. Yeeted Spears. There was a motion for Yeeted Spears, and I think that's what we're going with. Mr. Zabel will also be supported by Miss Spears' business management and forensic accounting teams. I love the reminder. The reminder, it's like, hey, James, we're going after you not getting paid. Oh, and by the way, we have forensic accountants. We gonna find you, just so you know. Just so you know. We're gonna remind you in this footnote, forensic accounting. That should be the scariest word to James Spears right now. Forensic accounting. Like, put aside that he called you an alcoholic gambling addict. Forensic accounting. We're going to continue. Mr. Spears' desperation to avoid suspension is self-evident and self-serving. He wants to escape justice and accountability, but will not. And he will evidently do or say anything to avoid it. Yeah, much like a YouTuber. Much like a YouTuber, Dad Spears is running from accountability. He knows when he is suspended, he must turn over the conservatorship files, including purported attorney-client privilege documents, communications with his lawyers, to the new temporary conservator in light of the most recent disclosures of his misconduct. According to the New York Times reporting, he is and should be particularly concerned. We're having a very hard time with this word this evening. Concerned about the release of those communications, to be followed by further interrogatories and his sworn deposition. We'll talk about him deposing Jamie in a minute. He then goes and lists the law that allows for all of that to happen. I've seen questions about this on social media about whether lawyers can just depose anyone at any time. No, you can't just depose anyone at any time, but the court has jurisdiction and Jamie can try to object. Jamie can try to object to a subpoena, but there is cause to subpoena him if he's not going to answer the interrogatories, which are written questions to be signed under oath, like testimony. If he's not going to answer those questions, they need to know and they have a right to investigate what has happened with this estate. And the court has the authority to enforce that subpoena for deposition. And I think we've seen the tables turn pretty well on that and seen that the court is not just inclined to do what Dad Spears wants to do. So we talked about the improper charging of overhead for office tasks from Freeman and Freeman, one of Dad Spears's, Yeeted Spears's 4 law firms that he worked with. All of the amount, the thoroughness with which Rosengart and his firm have gone through this is just to be respected and appreciated. It is. The files should have already been organized. Why are you charging us for this? The petition offers no basis for how you should be allowed to charge for overhead costs to organize files. That's your cost of doing business. Digital file management. What are you redoing your Dropbox? Shut the fuck up. That's part of running a law firm. Get it together. This is just overhead. And then they say the petition doesn't indicate who spent time doing the task of organizing, scanning, uploading, at which rates, for which cost, and how much time. This is just lumped into general admin. And apparently accounts for 130 attorney hours and 55 paralegal hours. What attorney is spending 130 hours on digital file management and the like? So Rosengart's not having it at all. So they have raised these objections to the fees. They also talk about time wasted on a petition to appoint Andrew Wallet as co-conservator. The original petition seeks approval for fees and costs associated with a wasteful petition for appointment of Andrew Wallet as co-conservator of the estate. This is from the 32621 petition of the attorney. That petition to appoint Wallet was abandoned and ultimately withdrawn, and the court instead appointed Bessemer Trust as the co-conservator of the estate. The fee petition thus failed to establish the benefit to the conservatorship of the time spent on an abandoned petition. The petition also does not indicate who spent time on the tasks. You can't just do the things. Exorbitant time spent on efforts to get paid. I love the headers I love the headers so much. The original petition states that the Freeman firm prepared and filed all the pleadings described in Exhibit 1 to the 32621 declaration. The supplement provides that they prepared and filed during the supplement period all the pleadings described in Exhibit 1 to the 7/12/21 declaration. Approximately 25%, if not more, of the pleadings prepared and filed by the Freeman firm in the original period dealt solely with efforts to get counsel and Mr. Spears paid. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. 25% of the pleadings were spent trying to get counsel and Mr. Spears paid. 100% of the pleadings prepared and filed in the supplemental period for that later one, the 721 one, was dealt with getting counsel and Mr. Spears paid. Neither the petition nor the supplement indicates who spent which time on what tasks. The fee petition fails to establish the benefit to the conservatorship of the Freeman firm spending so much of its time focused on getting its client and itself and co-counsel paid, as opposed to spending time on tasks that benefit the conservatorship. Exorbitant time spent on unimproved and unfiled accountings, over $66,000 for that. Insufficient descriptions of tasks relating to the SJB trust. And what trust it is, I do not know, but this is dealing with accounts as well as future investment strategies and planning. But that's not, as Rosengart points out, the job of the lawyers. That's the job of the hired and paid for business manager. So why are the lawyers dealing with future investment strategies? Lawyers are not, let's just be clear, most lawyers are not financial advisors. And if they are, they would have separate education and training. Like, they're not investment strategists. They're the lawyers. And the lawyers, Freeman and Freeman, were hired for James to be counsel to deal with things like the filings in court, not to be the business manager. There was a business manager that got paid. There's also financial people that get paid, not the job of the lawyers. And then they point out the overlap with Hell's Kitchen. The fee petition and supplemental papers make clear that Freeman and Holland and Knight both worked on overlapping matters, such as fee petitions and accountings. So the work was duplicated in effort and thus duplicated in billing. How many years do you think that was going on for? Like, if that's going on now, how long were these things being duplicated for? How long were 4 law firms doing the work of one? I really would like to know. And it seems that this is the kind of pull through that the Rosengart and his firm are going to do. And I'm here for it. Also, I'm sure these are the initial questions that a forensic accountant will ask. We talked about the media matters and all of the shade, more than 600 hours relating to work on media matters from the 7/12/21 Vivian Thuren declaration. I have absolutely talked about that declaration on the channel. It's part of the Britney playlist if you want to go see it. The fee petition papers did not identify who did what work where. And why are we spending $500,000 of media matters? We know. Why? Well, we know why. They're trying to protect James Spears' reputation. But the point, again, is to benefit the conservatorship and the estate and Britney. And how does any of that benefit her? They say at the same time, Mr. Spears unwittingly conceded the real motive and purpose of so much public relations work was his desire to vindicate himself in the public eye. As he put it, he believes the public does not know all the facts, but has vilified him anyway, and leveled unremitting, unjustified attacks against him when, in his view, everyone should instead be praising Mr. Spears for the job he has done. 8/12/21, James Spears' first response to the petition for suspension and removal. And let me just say, the use of their own words against them is one of the things I love the most when lawyers do it. Look, using the words that he said to say this is your motivation is masterful and brilliant. It is just pointing out, look, you think the world should be praising you and spent $500,000, we think, to go and tell the world that they should be praising you, and it's still not working. No one is out here saying, let's give this man a gold star. Not a single person. And the people who have been critical of him have been threatened and silenced. You know. They go on to say fees spent trying to defend the reputation of the departing conservator do not benefit the conservatee. By the way, this was filed a day before he was yeeted, so it is a foreshadowing of, we're just going to say he's departing because we're making it so. Fees spent trying to defend the reputation of the departing conservator do not benefit the conservatee Britney and must not be charged or collected from the conservatee's assets. We are not paying for your shit, Spears. We're not doing it. Yeet. Mr. Spears also unwittingly admitted that H&K's media work was not in the best interest of the conservatee, as he conceded, using his words against him, the public battle with his daughter over his continued service as conservator is not in her best interests. Look, he said it in the 8/12 first response to the petition, and they are just reminding the court, see, yeeted Spears has also said this is not what's in Britney's best interest. And if it's not in Britney's best interest, Britney is not going to be paying for it. Britney will no longer be extorted, which has been pointed out in other petitions. Britney is done paying for all of this shit. Exorbitant time spent on unapproved or unfiled accountings, same as up above. Exorbitant fees on business manager and miscellaneous matters. Remember, Britney has a business manager that was hired by James Spears as conservator of the estate. It's not Holland and Knight, and it's not James Spears. There is another business manager that is being paid well, especially in the case of the departed business manager, TriStar, which Lou Taylor is the head of, to deal with that. So why is this law firm seeking $115,000 in legal fees for 113 hours of work related to business management? That is not your job. Why is so much getting paid? Because this is 115,000 on top of the hundreds of thousands that were being paid to TriStar as the business manager during some of these time periods. This, though, we don't have the exact time period, but there's always been a business manager. When TriStar left, another business manager was immediately hired, and Britney had no choice. And it's one of the things Ingham actually objected to in this thing, saying, look, you're not even let Britney having any input on hiring a business manager. And she wants input on who is her business manager, who is running this business. So why are the lawyers double dipping into this? Why are they dipping into the business management realm and billing 113 hours of work for it? Overlap with the Freeman firm, joinder with Lynn Spears' objection. Conservative further joins the objection filed by Lynn Spears, because Lynn Spears is also objecting to some of these fees. Objections to Sidley's fees, another law firm. Objections to August and Cabot's request for fees, yet another law firm. But this is with regard to the media matters. And objection to James Spears' requested fees and cost. Again, he's getting $16,000 a month plus $2,000 a month for a supposed office space. The use of supposed. Claiming that he did his best to keep current regarding the music advertising and entertainment business. Again, not his job. They go on to point out this isn't your job. You don't have to bill Britney to watch documentaries that you think are shading you. So they're requesting to deny all of the allowances. This is all going to be heard on December 8th if the judge doesn't put it over again. It's been put over so much. So, yeah, the time has come that Britney Spears will no longer be paying for everyone's shit. Matthew Rosengart has made you all very, very aware of that, and he is done. I have questions. You have questions. We're going to get to as many super chats as I can. If I do not get them all, know that I appreciate you. I thank you, and I do my best. I try to get to all of them. I don't always get to all of them, but I try. Seriously, Fred. We've heard you. We know that you're here. Yeah. He loves rubbing his face on the mic stand and stepping on my keyboard. And that's exactly what's happening. Yes, buddy. Yes. I see you, big boy. Hi. You just okay. This is what we're doing now. This is riveting content. You want your own like kitty per channel. You love this. Why do we love this microphone so much? I'm curious. Yeah. Riveting content. We're going to swoop and get to questions. Fred has questions. You want me to let you down. You're just going to lay on my keyboard again. All right. I'm going to get to as many super chats as I can. We're going to do like a super chat speed round. Fred's going to continue knocking over shit on my desk. It's what it is. It's what it is. Tear Share asked, will you be restocking the cold cups? I saw someone post one on Twitter, and jealousy is an understatement. Love from Pennsylvania. The cold cups that you are starting to see on social media were exclusives for the very first members into Patreon. So cold cups in that particular style will not be restocked. Those were a limited time exclusive, one and done. So those will not be restocked. Other cold cups will be coming. Look, supply is going to be difficult for everyone this holiday season, but we are going to be doing a giveaway of some of these. I will announce it on social media and we'll be doing it live here. These will be stocked when we have them in, and there will be some other opportunities to get Law Nerd tumblers. So yes, but that exact kind was a limited run, completely sold out, and was only available for those who were early signer-uppers to the Law Nerd community over on Patreon. If you're interested in Patreon, lawnerdsunite.com will get you to Patreon. It's also at the Emily D. Baker if you're familiar with the platform. And we have access to the members only live streams once a month. That's coming up next week. And also to the I Have Thoughts exclusive podcast. And that is exclusive content just for Patreon. I know there's some of you guys in the chats. If you like the I Have Thoughts podcast, you are welcome to let everyone know that you enjoy it, because it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. So let's get to a few more of these, but thank you for that question, Tara. Jennifer said the whole quote, "My kid is an extension of my ego" thing baffles me. I'm like, where did this kid get his confidence from? And can he teach me, please? Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I don't look for my personal validation through what other people think of my kids, but I also work really hard to not try to externally validate myself, because it's no win sum if you're looking for other people's approval to say that you're okay. That has been a lifelong work, and I talk about that a bit in my TED Talk, but I agree with you. I don't understand well, if everyone thinks my kid's great, then they'll think I'm great. Your kid can be great and you can still be an asshole of a parent. It's different. Being proud of your kid and being happy for your kid and loving your kid as a human is such a different thing than receiving external validation of yourself for your kid. That kind of enmeshment is just not, I don't think, good for anybody. But that's just my personal opinion. Linda C., thank you for the super chat. Cuckoo Clock Heart said the singer was the only winner here. Yeah, Singer's the one who sung early to the feds and got a better deal for himself and threw everybody else under the bus, but can we be surprised? Nope. Jessica said, spending my birthday with you. Love the show. Happy birthday, Jessica. So glad. And if you are in the text crew, you might have gotten a birthday wish from me today. If you're not in the text crew, textemily.com. No, Siri. I can't say that again. Easy for you to say, Siri. Rebecca said the scheme is very common with car accidents, people stage accidents and fake injuries and split insurance money. Yes. I mean, there's plenty of insurance scheme. Sarah said, longtime listener, first time commenting to just say I got my first real job. Congratulations, Sarah. First non-graduate teaching assistant job. Congratulations. Getting those first jobs out of school is such a rewarding feeling. Farm Girl Night Runner said all Amazon users should change their passwords, not just Twitch users. Good words of wisdom. I think that that's probably good advice because it is what it is. I will yeet you. I love this so much. Thank you for putting extended size hoodies in your shop. You're welcome. And we have more extended sizes coming. Supply chain has been difficult, but it is always my goal to offer things in as many sizes as we can so that everyone can be comfortable rocking their Law Nerd love. Influences by Adriana Jacob. Hello. She said, will creators have any recourse against Twitch for sharing their income information? I saw Hassan getting a lot of hate. That was a bummer. I don't know. It's a great question, and I appreciate it. You always have the most thoughtful questions and comments, and I know that you're going through your own stuff with other platforms, which we haven't even gotten to yet on the channel, but we will. I think if they can show that Twitch knew that this breach could happen and did nothing to protect it, maybe, but it might be really difficult. There would have to be knowledge there that Twitch knew that they needed to secure their platform different, but it really depends what comes out and what creators can find. And if there's a whistleblower inside Twitch that can say, hey, like Twitch had known this could happen. We've been warning Twitch. We've told Twitch and Twitch just ignored it. Then maybe, because it is probably going to hurt creators, they would have to show some kind of damage, but we will see. So possibly. Ashley said, in a two-party consent state in regards to recording someone, can the government still record someone without their knowledge, like in the college admissions case? Yes, with court permission. So in a two-party consent, and this happens with pretext calls and other wiretap calls, you have to get a search warrant to wiretap, and then you can do that. But it's normally, well, it's court approved. There has to be an affidavit, there has to be probable cause, and there has to be reasons to set it up. So yes, but there have to be things done to make that happen. Tier Shear said, is it possible that James Spears somehow used money from Britney for his bond? I don't know how he would have so much money. So a bond company did that. He did not put up all that money. A bonding company did. And what money he put up, I do not know, but he wouldn't have put up all that money. It would have been put up at, and there would have been collateral put up. And he would not have put $47 million into a pot and waited it there. There's companies that bond people and do that. Allison said, question, so is the petition to terminate still Dad Spears' petition? Yes. Would that still affect jurisdiction if they want to investigate and go after wrongdoings? If it's terminated, they would have to go to another court. I think particularly after what we saw from the New York Times, they have the ability to take these things into another court. But yes, you can't. If a court no longer has jurisdiction because it's been terminated, then the court no longer has jurisdiction. However, the termination can be granted with a winding up period, which we might see, and it might not be completely terminated until the final financial documents are done, and that could take up to a year. So we will see how it is strategized, and I'm sure we will see some filings. They might be sealed with regard to kind of a winding up plan and how that will work. So Elise Couture said, you're the type of sassiness we all aspire to be. I mean, there are days that we are sassier than others for sure. Amy Yost said, let's all raise a glass to the two words forensic accountings. Cheers to that. Captain Wee the Barmy, respectfully submitting non-Barmy SC IPO effectiveness strategies. I have no idea what you mean. Releasing categorical findings of evilness weekly, monthly, etc. Waiting for completed methodological meticulous discoveries. I have no idea, but you're welcome and thank you. I tried my best. Just Matt said, I've known people as scammy/scummy as Yeet Spears seems to be. Gross, toxic, and no thank you. I mean, I think a lot of people feel that way watching all this unfold, that this system needs to be reworked, and the abuses that have happened to Britney and to her estate are unacceptable. We hope they're not happening to others, and it's awful. So we will see. I was thinking tax fraud if Jamie didn't file correctly. I mean, if there's tax fraud, you will find it because the IRS does that. And this is speculation, but when you get high profile tax fraud cases, it kind of reinforces the law of the land, which I think the IRS appreciates. It's like, hey, this is actually serious. See, look, this is bad. Don't do it. So we'll see. Let's see. Finally catching alive. Love you, Emily. Thank you. I found you shortly after I left my last job in April, and I love your thoroughness. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciate it, and I don't know how to do things shorter. So thorough is the way it's going to be. I've definitely seen a lot of comments about Jamie Lynn Spears, and it is a thing. It is a thing. Laura M said, running the business as if Britney isn't a person just irritates me. I mean, they didn't treat Britney like a person. They treated her like a business entity. That is for sure. The business of Britney Spears is a big business, no doubt. All right. Statement, they are double dipping because they were getting away with it for a decade plus. I mean, it's so appalling to me if they go back through all these other finances, and we will have some of them too. A lot of these are public with some redactions, to see like, why weren't there objections if there was overlap in the law firms, if there was business manager tasks that one law firm's doing when she's also paying a business manager, why weren't there objections sooner? And yes, it's because Sam Ingham didn't raise them, but come on, man, just do your job. I'm going through questions. Kibby's like, ooh, the purrs. I mean, Fred loves this mic. Absolutely. Honestly, this is 100% riveting content. I'm glad you said honestly, because I would have read it sarcastically, because my cat wanting to play with my mic, I don't know, is always riveting. It is. I am back to having cat hair on my face. We're just trying it. Kitty does like the mic. He is absolutely a mood. Fred loves to be on my desk. George is up on Travis's desk most of the time, but Fred loves to be here. The mic has your breath. Fred probably feels like you are kissing on him. I mean, maybe. He definitely rubs his face on it. Fred marks his territory with his little face scent around my desk, and definitely rubs his face on the entire mic stand. And this mic stand like extends back. So he absolutely does. He is a silly, silly kid. Loved your rap at VidCon. I mean, I'm bummed that my voice wasn't better. On a members only live stream, we played the Big Mac rap, the original one, and went through part of it. Look, when my voice is better, I can do the Big Mac rap better. I actually texted a friend that I used to work in my little quad office with. There were 4 of us in there. Four DAs share an office. 1 becomes a judge. 2 are running for judge. 1 is a YouTube legal commentator. Who has the more fun day to day? I'm guessing it's me. But we were obsessed with the Big Mac rap, another DA and I, while we were in there. And we used to just Big Mac rap back and forth. And it went on for years when we would see each other. And still, when I texted and was like, this is on Twitter. And he was like, oh my God. Yeah, that was a decade ago, and if not, no more. And we just enjoy the Big Mac rap. So thank you. I was surprised. I didn't know who was filming, but they asked a question, and there were lots of people filming around VidSummit asking questions. So I wasn't sure where that video ended up. And I wasn't surprised to find that vidIQ had it. I really enjoy the folks over at vidIQ. I know some of you have been asking because you haven't seen Tech Valor in the chat as much. Tech does editing for me on this channel, has an amazing YouTube channel of their own. She does all of my things, like helps with the modding and the timestamping and everything, but also now works with vidIQ. And I'm so excited. It's like when all the worlds unite, because vidIQ has hired so many creators that I really enjoy and love, including Tech Valor. So for those of you that were like, we don't see Tech as much. Yes, there are some times during stream when Tech is working, and that is just the way that it is. So question, what could happen if Jamie asked his lawyers if did any criminal conduct with her assets? Can his lawyers get in trouble too? Yeah, I mean, it always depends, unfortunately, what was done, but it will come to light. And yes, there are bounds to what lawyers have ethical rules, but lawyers also can't co-sign criminal activity. And if they were co-signing illegal recording, then it's a problem. If there was a court order allowing recording, then it's not as much of a problem. So we will just see. What are your thoughts on how Vivian Daddy Thureens continued to argue on behalf of Jamie's best interest after he's been needed? I think because the new conservator of the estate has new counsel and has come in with new counsel, it's clear that H&K is now just working with James Spears and not the position of conservator of the estate. And as such, everything she's doing on behalf, or everything, not she, her law firm is doing on behalf of James Spears, should be being paid by James Spears. So that's what it is. Question. So basically, James Spears wants everyone to care about his kidney donation. Are you going to be covering the Bad Art Friend copyright lawsuit? It's on my list. There's a few copyright lawsuits on the list, as always. There's also a Chris Brown Drake suit going on. There's a South by Southwest class action lawsuit going on. Those are things that are kind of on my list for Tuesday. But yes, it's on my radar. So yes. I don't understand how to join the text crew. Sin, just if you are in North America on your mobile device, just go to the website, textemily.com. And from that website, it will allow you to join and just text the number and say hello, and you will be part of the text group. And then you will get updates when I'm live here, when I'm live elsewhere, and things like that. So, in regards to the Franks hearing for Duggar, do you think that has any merit to it? What is the likelihood the case will get thrown out because of it? I didn't see the court grant a Franks hearing. I pulled up all of the motions that got denied. So no, I don't think so. And I thought every single motion got denied. So I will have to go back in and look to answer that more thoroughly. But no, the court is not taking Duggar's side. And he only has like another week and a half to decide if he's going to change his plea. Thank you, Classy Mom. I appreciate that. Ugh. Cat. Hi. I know. He's done. He's like, can we get to court of a public opinion and go play, please? I am done. I see that you are done, big boy. All right, let's get to a few more questions, and then we're going to get to COPO. Oh, we got a boogie. I'm looking forward to COPO. This cat's he's just not going to listen to me at all tonight. I just ordered my first shirt yesterday. Can't wait to rock it with my own purple hair. Amazing. Please tag me if you do. I create the stuff in the Laundered Shop because you guys asked me for stuff in the Laundered Shop, and I love it too. The blackout facts hat that I wore through most of Vid Summit is one of my favorite. And I wear hats at events like that because the overhead lights tend to give me headaches. So I always have an event. So you guys are like, oh my God, your hair, the hat. I'm like, look, I had to look somewhat cute and still have a hat so that I still had energy at the end of the day, because those are long days with lots of talking, and you can hear that my voice is still like blah, blah, blah. It's still a thing. Like the voice is still a thing. You are on my mouse. I don't know what happened. I didn't know Amazon owned Twitch. Yes, you do. Now you know. Did you have gestational diabetes with your boys? Only with my second. I got put on insulin, and I hate having to stick myself with a needle 4 times a day. I hated it too. It was temporary. I had a lot of other issues going on with my second pregnancy, but yes, that was one of them. And for me, that was one of the least of my health concerns with my second pregnancy. But that is probably a Q&A for another day, because there is at least half the audience that is like, oh, we don't want to know. It's just TMI. Please make a video about Sam Asghari. I don't know much about Sam Asghari, other than he met Britney on a music video. And if there's not court documents, I am definitely not an investigative journalist. If there's something there, I'm sure the investigative journalist will find it. I am not a journalist. I do not play one on YouTube. I do not pretend to be one. I am a legal commentator. I mean, I've got 15 years of legal education. Well, not legal education. I've got 15 years of legal experience, 3 years of legal education, and had a lot of experience with my job. So I really try to stick to the court documents and surrounding circumstances that can be legal to help break it down. Because there is a difference between going like, oh, Penal Code Section 211 says this. Well, Penal Code Section 211 might say, and in California, that's a robbery, but Penal Code Section 211 says this, this, this. But it's the case law and the underlying applicability that really explains how that law works. And that's part of what a legal education does. Reading out the language of the law is different than interpreting it in practical context, and also knowing where to do the rest of the legal research, because what this word means in one context might be different in another context. So, but yeah, I don't know how to be an investigative journalist. I just ask the questions that I see. I now have cat hair stuck to my lip gloss. Thank you, Fred. Anyway, so there we go. Did you hear that apparently H3 is going to be filing something either this week or next week? I didn't hear that. I'll reach out and ask Ethan. And when something's filed, ask him to let me know and see if he does. So we will see. Question. Did you see reports that Dad Spears and the others will be subpoenaed soon? I mean, I saw the footnote in what we just read that indicates such. I've also seen the legal documents from Rosengart have indicated that they've been served with interrogatories, that they will be deposed. So interrogatories are essentially subpoenaing information and asking for more information. They're asking for specific information, and then subpoenas for documents and things can follow. I'm not surprised by that. That will happen. They said they're doing an investigation. And Rosengart also said in court filings, oh my God, the cat hair is making me crazy. Rosengart also said in other filings that until he has all of that information from Dad Spears, until Dad Spears is deposed, he can't finish objecting to some of these accountings because he needs that information. So this is going to be continuing on. Sarah, will you be covering the KJ lawsuits when there are legal filings? I will definitely take a look at them and see if I can give any insight on them. Because again, lawyer with legal experience. And if there are, then we are. If there's interest in it, then we will. Question, not a question. Well, Gamers Life, we love a question, not a question. I really love how classy you've been on this platform. Wish there were more like you on this platform. I think everyone makes a choice, and I love creating a positive community. The law nerds are the greatest community on the internet and my favorite place to be. I love the reason I do Q&A so much is because I love talking to you guys and answering your questions and being a resource so that people understand. The header on Twitter says, for my page says, understand, evaluate, change. And that's really how I hope to help people understand the law. You can understand what's going on, evaluate how you think of it for yourself. And then if you want to make change, look at where change needs to happen for what you see. We can't just have people with one experience, and this has been too often the case, people with one type of experience being the ones writing the laws, making the laws, and advocating for the laws. We need a broad and diverse group of voices, because Americans are broad and diverse, saying, hey, this seems kind of fucked. Can we do better? And I think right now the conservatorship system is definitely getting the eyeballs on it, going, whoa, 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 whoa. This seems screwed. And when we talked about missing lawyer John Pierce, who seems to have reappeared and been back appearing in court, but I really want to know more about this story. When we talked about John Pierce, his associate that is not a lawyer, but was appearing in court, one of the allegations against him in the criminal case against him is that he helped somebody fraudulently start a conservatorship to allegedly steal assets. Those are the criminal charges. He got the judge he was working for to sign off on a conservatorship to help a coworker at the court steal assets from their grandmother, like $100,000. It's just, and that's an Emily Show episode where I talk about it more, but obviously there's problems in a system where people see it as the best way to steal from one another, right? That's not okay. How close are you to 160K? Do the YouTube things? Well, for sure do the YouTube things. Let me look. Oh, we're pretty close to 160K, actually. Go us. I mean, considering the channel is not hitting all the things that YouTube is serving up right now, we're doing us over here, and we're talking about the law, and we're updating the kind of the hot button issues and the hot button topics when there's actual facts to talk about. So that is what we are doing. Where do I join the membership? You can join on the channel unless you're on mobile, and then I think it's hard, but you can join the YouTube membership in the Law Nerds tier here, or you can go to Law Nerds Unite and join the Patreon. Um, I'm not a Britney fan. Um, I think it's a but damn, this just sucks. I feel for her. And I think you don't need to be a Britney fan to see the human rights and mental health violations that are going on with this. The reason it's gaining worldwide attention is because she's a beloved pop star, but this is a system that is rife, it seems, with abuse, and that's hugely problematic because those who end up in the conservatorship system are those who need to be protected and aren't being protected. Um, all right, 2 more questions, and then we're getting to court of public opinion with the, court of public opinion. How annoying on a scale of 1 to 10 is it to have cat hair on your face where you're streaming? 11. It's an 11, Bob. Question: who had to pay the bond for the estate? Dad Spears. I think we covered that earlier when we talked about the estate, but Dad Spears had to put up the bond, and now there's a new bond as well. Question: what are you going to do when you hit 200K? Does Fred turn purple? I mean, it might be very interesting to make Fred turn purple. I don't know. Can you dye your cat? Is that something that we're allowed to do? Are we allowed to dye cats? I don't know. We talked about oil slick and or galaxy hair. That's on the list. And we will do a giveaway and a celebration together as a channel for sure. I feel like I haven't seen George in ages. Is he okay? Yes, George is great. He tends to spend his evenings with Travis on Travis's desk. He has definitely become Travis's cat. And truly, Fred and George's brothers were adopted because Travis really was asking to have cats in the house again after my 17-year-old cat passed. I didn't feel quite ready, but my 13-year-old was very much wanting a cat. And, kids win. So he and George definitely have a bond and play in the evenings, which is why George isn't always in here. He's asleep in here quite a lot when I'm working. Fred's the one who loves to be on camera. George, not as much. Off topic, do you know why Twitter is issuing DMCA suspensions for sharing trailers? I didn't know that was happening. Feel free, if you see something on it, Christina, please DM me on Twitter and I'll take a look. If Twitter is doing that, they would have had if Twitter is doing that, then the copyright owner would have been asking Twitter to do that. I don't think it would just be Twitter doing it themselves. Amelia, question: are you going to be covering the Chris Chan case? Not at this time. It's not at this time. We will see what happens down the road with this case, but it's really dark. So there's not a lot. No, not yet. We'll see how the legal proceedings go and what comes of it before we do that. Old Head stumbles into chat. Have you discussed Prince Andrew? Not tonight. We haven't. And I have not yet discussed Prince Andrew. It's on the list. It just keeps getting bumped by other stuff that the Law Nerds are more interested in. Octonation just got my Law Nerd Tumblr. Oh, I'm so excited. You love it. I'm glad you love it, Octo. Good to see you, friend. All right. I am going to get to one more, and then court of public opinion. You can dye animals with food coloring. Also, you really need to Google extreme dog grooming. I will do both of those things, and I will consider it. I definitely have to see what my kids think. Ricada Law is covering the Chris Chan case. There you go. Thank you, Twisted Puppet. Y'all can watch Ricada Law. Ricada probably has a lot more background on it too. It's just, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. So no. Fred is gorgeous. Don't change him a bit. Thank you, Rain of Flame. I will tell him. He definitely feels himself. He likes to be a show cat. Question: what is your favorite adult drink? It depends on mood. I love a solid whiskey on ice, big ice cube. I really enjoy a lemon drop. More than one does not enjoy me, but I enjoy a lemon drop martini. And I love a really, really, really dirty vodka martini. My friends might at one point have nicknamed me Dirty for my love of the filthy, dirty martini. As filthy as my mouth, truly. All right. We need to get to court of public opinion. Ooh, and I can do I can do it as a poll. I can do it as a poll. I love being able to do it as a poll, and I can actually enter it. Oh, I can give it to tech to enter. Okay, I'm going to type it to her. I have to figure out how I want to phrase the question. Riveting content. This is a person. Normally I don't ask COPOs that are personal to me. This one's personal, and I'm putting it up for COPO anyway because I love and trust you all. Let's get to court of public opinion. All right, y'all. Tech's gonna put a poll up so you can vote on a poll. If you are watching on mobile or on desktop, you should be able to vote on it. I love this new feature that YouTube has offered. Thank you, YouTube. Court of public opinion. Candy corn. Best Halloween candy, yes or no? Maybe I should refine the question. Well, that's the court of public opinion that's going up. Look, we refine the court of public opinion here before it goes up to social media. Maybe it should just be cotton candy, not cotton candy, candy corn, yes or no. I love I love candy corn. Everyone hates candy corn. The opinions I get from most people are that candy corn is disgusting and tastes like wax. I love candy corn. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, Valerie, like caramel corn, I need to explain. So for those of you that are not in the US, I am sorry. Candy corn seems to be a US specific thing, not the candy pumpkins, because those are like a mallow. Those are not quite as waxy to most as the candy corns. Let me show you a picture of candy corn. Did you know that candy corn, if you arrange them, you can actually make candy corn cobs? Candy corn's fucking incredible. And I love it. We're going to the wiki because it has the pictures. This is candy corn. These little nubs of goodness. Look, not the autumn corn with the chocolate on the top. No. The OG candy corn. So I think maybe like we did for pineapple on pizza, yes or no. I think we just need to do a candy corn, yes or no. That maybe that's our refine. Look at this. You can make candy corn cobs. I need to do this. I want this. But you can stack them on top of each other without putting something in the middle to make them. I kind of love that there's a cookie in the middle of this, though. That looks amazing. But yes, you can do lots of things with candy corn. I would never try to do it homemade, but you can stack them. This is generally what they look like when they sell, like little Brock's candy corn, like just candy corn. I don't know. You can buy $5. How big is that bag? That looks like a very large bag. 4 pounds. 4 pounds of candy corn, honey. Dr. B, we need to go to Sam's Club. We can find 4 pounds of candy corn. Anyway, that is candy corn. Let's go to images and see what else they have. We don't need just that one because the Pinteresting of the candy corn is amazing to me. I love candy corn. When we're talking about the pumpkins, these little pumpkins are also delicious, but they are different than candy corn, but they are quite good. And when we talked about the autumn corn, these with the little chocolate on the top, those are the autumn corn. I don't think they're as good. I don't think they're as good at all. And candy corn flavored everything comes out this time of year in the US. You get like candy corn flavored M&Ms last year. That was totally a thing. I don't know what this is. Grape soda candy corn? No. Why is there purple candy corn? I'm a candy corn purist. I like candy corn quite a lot. I don't know about the purple. We don't need any of that. So for the international crew, this is what candy corn is. There is a large divide over whether candy corn is delicious or disgusting. Oh, that's the court of public opinion. Candy corn, delicious or disgusting? We've refined the question. Easiest COPO ever. Yeah, it is a pretty divided topic. Like this is a love-hate We either love candy corn or we hate candy corn. The candy pumpkins are very, very good. So love candy corn. I also love black jelly beans. I do. I love it too. I love candy pumpkins. I'm Dutch and have never eaten it in my life. I mean, I feel like we need to expand the international audience to the love of candy corn. But I think when I put this poll up on social, and thank you guys for participating in the poll here, when I put the poll up on social, it's going to have to be candy corn disgusting or delicious. I think because best, a lot of you are like, well, I like it, but there's a better best. And then a lot of you are like, this is disgusting. I hate you. So candy corn, delicious or disgusting, is going to be the poll. It's good to see you, Corey. So you guys have very strong feelings. We can't be friends anymore. I'm canceling my membership. I have outed myself as a candy corn fan. I don't normally weigh in on the court of public opinion while we're deciding it, but I had to tell you guys, look, my feelings aren't hurt. You have to be able to have a give and take. This is court of public opinion, but I think candy corn is delicious. These candies are terribly disrespectful. They look horrendous. The cobs look horrendous. I don't know. They're like cookies with candy corn stuck all around them. I think I'm fascinated. Is it like sugar-coated corn? No, it is completely made out of candy. It does not taste like corn at all. It has a very specific and artificial flavor. And they are not a hard candy, but they're not a soft candy. What texture would you compare them to, friends? Like, law nerds, how do we describe candy corn to those who do not have candy corn? I don't know what is like it. It is, I don't know. It I don't know. Those who don't like it are like, it's waxy. I don't think it's waxy, but it's not. It's more like a mallow candy. It's kind of a sticky texture, but not all the way sticky. Kind of more corn syrupy. There you go. Sharon said from New England, old-fashioned flavors are the best. Necco wafers. I love Necco wafers. Candy corn, Mary Jane peanut butter taffy. Peanut butter taffy is amazing. All taffy is amazing. And when we used to go to the Jersey Shore in the summer, one of my favorite things at the Jersey Shore was the saltwater taffy there and the Macamanco's pizza. But the saltwater taffy was one of my favorite things. But it tastes like sugar. I mean, it does kind of taste like sugar. I will be getting a bag of this on the way to work. Yum. I mean, it is good. That candy corn cob made my teeth itch. I know what you mean. I can't with you and your candy corn. Ashley's Pretty Little Life. I appreciate you. This is like me trying to explain to Viper why pumpkin spice is the greatest ever. I am basic and I love fall. I like pumpkin spice. I like candy corn. I also really do love the black jelly beans. I love black licorice. I think there are things I don't like, but Emily prefers artificial orange and yellow flavored sugar corn syrup over artificial purple. I mean, yep. I do love an artificial grape flavor, though. I got to be honest. Like a grape bubblegum. Love, love, love. I hate white jelly beans. Most white jelly beans are kind of pineapple flavored, aren't they? Candy corn, disgusting. I like candy corn. Delicious. I prefer the belly candy corn. I mean, the Jelly Belly candy corn is good. I think the Brock's is the OG. So, international crew member, never tried. I didn't realize that this was a regional thing. I apologize. We will branch out into not such a US specific candy corn. Sorry, international crew. I was just unaware. This is why I love COPO, because we all get to broaden our horizons and learn things. I've never been abroad during the Halloween season, so I never even considered that candy corn was regional. I mean, I should have, seeing that y'all in the UK and Canada have way better candy than we do. But, you know, the audacity they have to call themselves candy to begin with. I want to know what your dentist husband thinks of candy corn. Let me see if I can ask him. Let me see. I'm gonna turn on my A-word device. Give me a second. I'm gonna ask. Let's see if we're dropping in. We will ask. I should ask the kids too. We'll get them to weigh in. Hey B. The law nerds want to know what your thought is of candy corn. The law nerds want to know what you think of candy corn.
Am I supposed to come in, or am I talking over the speaker?
You can just pop over the speaker. I think they can hear you. We're wrapping up the stream. They want to know your thoughts on candy corn. They don't need a dissertation. This is not a PhD thesis.
Well, I am a dentist, and candy corn does affect the teeth. So, I mean, it's very hard to give these little short answers that you expect. You know who you married.
This is what it's like at our house, y'all. It's long-winded answers. Okay, speak up. What do you think about flavor, and then what do you think about impact on the teeth? We're gonna go with a two-part answer for you. Because with you,
well, it really doesn't matter. Don't give me a two-part question. I fucking hate candy corn. I think it's absolutely disgusting. It hurts my teeth. It makes my teeth feel fuzzy. They taste like wax or the bottom of a barrel. I mean, why would I put myself through such an ordeal for such a disgusting treat?
Well, you know where Dr. B stands on the court of public opinion.
I hate candy corn.
I love candy corn.
Gross. My teeth hurt every time you buy it at the store. When you put it in the cart, I think it's a part of
He said a part of me dies when I put it in the shopping cart. This is a house divided court of public opinion, y'all. This is what it is. House divided court of public opinion.
I think the kids are on my side. They hate candy corn too.
Well, you and the kids can be wrong. We're putting it up on social and we're going to see who wins.
It's not a matter of being wrong. It's preference.
It's a court of public opinion. There's a right answer and a wrong answer. Candy corn's delicious.
Is that what the law nerds are saying?
No. We're going to be honest. The law nerds mostly seem to think that candy corn's disgusting.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even know if it's like real shit. You can't even classify it as real food.
It's candy. It's not supposed to be real food. You and I are going to debate candy corn on social media when the results come in on Tuesday.
Okay. I mean, clearly be prepared to lose.
Oh, baby, I never lose.
Be prepared.
Everybody in the chat is saying he's not watching the live stream, so he can't see the chat. So no, he doesn't know about the $5 4-pound bags at Sam's Club that's coming to our house. He doesn't know that that's happening.
Sam's Club. Where's Sam's Club?
Oh, I'm gonna hang up on you now. Love you, honey. Bye. Echo. Cancel. He doesn't need to know. Dr. B wants no part of candy corn at all. If candy corn is real candy, then what the fuck are circus peanuts? So, okay, circus peanuts are legit disgusting, but that's a conversation for another day. Y'all, thank you for hanging with me. I am going to go give my husband a hug as his impending doom when we put this on social media. Though, Hubs might win this one, and he is going to gloat on Tuesday when we announce the polls. I'll have to let him know that he might have to be present. Tuesday is going to be a slightly shorter Coffee and Cursey Words because my parents are in town and we have some plans. We have some plans on Tuesday, but real life, we got to do real things. But then you guys have me. Then we're not going anywhere through the holidays. We've got lots of streams coming, lots of topics to cover. And, we've still got Britney to free. It's coming in November. I feel good. I feel optimistic for the first time. Thank you for hanging with me, Law Nerds. Thank you for being a part of this stream. Don't forget to do the YouTube, likey, subscribey things. We're almost at 160,000, which is so tremendously exciting. And thanks for making this the best place to be on the internet. Thank you to all the mods for your help this stream and all the streams. I absolutely adore you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I said do the YouTube things. You know where to find me. LawNerdsUnite.com for the Patreon. Members only live stream next Thursday. And there's a new episode of I Have Thoughts coming to Patreon, talking about my dinner with Salt and Queen Levine. The pictures are up on, one of the pictures is up on Patreon as well. And we will be talking about that more over there. So for now, it is time to say good night. Thank you for a lovely stream. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Have a great weekend, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Bye, friends. Thanks for being a Law Nerd. Connect with me everywhere. I'm at the Emily D. Baker. If you guys want to join the text, just text Emily.com. If you want to join the channel, lawnerdsunite.com. Happy to have you. Support what we do here on the YouTube.